So we've got some interesting developments in the story that we talked about late last week, which is, of course, that Stephanie Grisham, former White House communications director, said that the sexual harassment coming from Donald Trump while he was president was absolutely off the charts, and that there was one staffer in particular that Donald Trump really seemed to single out, and in fact sometimes would even have her just walk through so he could show his male companions he was traveling with her butt. That is what Stephanie Grisham said. Stephanie Grisham also says at one point she pulled that staffer aside and talked to her, was like, "Are you okay? Is everything all right? I mean, we see what this man is doing to you. Is everything okay?" According to Newsweek, they found this unidentified staffer. And this unidentified staffer, who still remains anonymous for very obvious reasons, says none of that happened. Staffer said, quote, "It's totally false. None of what is being insinuated or alleged is even remotely true." Stephanie Grisham came out and has now said, well, of course, she wasn't there in the room when the harassment was taking place, when the objectification was taking place. So yes, she wouldn't know about it. But Stephanie Grisham, you did say you talked to her about it. So who is lying? There's a lot of different scenarios that could be happening right now with this particular story. Let's look at scenario number one. Stephanie Grisham embellished what happened. We do know Stephanie Grisham has a book, okay? She's been out there in the media. She's been attacking Trump for many years. Nothing wrong with that. We've done it too. But you could see that, okay, maybe there is an agenda there. Not saying Stephanie Grisham's lying. I am laying out possibilities. Second possibility, Stephanie Grisham is telling the truth, and this individual that Newsweek spoke to could be saying it's a lie in order to protect herself. So she may be trying to pretend it didn't happen only because she may be afraid of what happens to her. So that is definitely a plausible possibility. Third possibility could be that Newsweek simply reached out to the wrong person. After all, Stephanie Grisham didn't tell them who it was. So there's a chance they reached out to a different staffer, and that staffer's like, what? No, that never happened. Stephanie Grisham never pulled me aside. I don't know what you're talking about. So that is certainly a possibility. But somewhere along the lines, someone involved in this story is not telling the truth. And I have to say, if it's Stephanie Grisham that is not telling the truth, then this is a absolutely unrecoverable blow to her credibility. Okay, we have real people that have been harassed or worse by Donald Trump. And if this claim was fabricated by Stephanie Grisham, then that is demeaning to all of those other women with valid claims. On the other side of that, Stephanie Grisham, as far as we know, doesn't have a history of lying and making stuff up. So I have no reason to doubt Stephanie Grisham's story. The accused or the woman who this allegedly happened to, I can understand why she would want to say it never happened in order to protect herself. That is not uncommon for victims. So in all of the possible scenarios, hopefully that is the one that is true. That Stephanie Grisham is telling the truth and that this individual is trying to protect herself by downplaying everything and trying to make it go away so she can move on with her life. But in this particular instance, we might not ever really get to know what actually happened. We may not get everyone to sit down and finally confirm what happened. It's not up to us. If it did happen and the staffer is trying to downplay it, if she wants to come forward later and clarify and correct, she is entitled to do that. If she doesn't ever want to talk about it again, she's entitled to do that as well. And that's, I guess, all we know right now.
This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.